I went to Aurora in 1953, and what brought me there was a pretty long association with people from Aurora. I attended Camp Swanee here at Dowling Park from the time I was 11 years old, and we always had either staff or faculty or students on the staff at Camp Swanee from Aurora. Jerry Richardson, the vice president, was usually always there. Dr. T.P. Stevens actually stayed in our home overnight on his way down to Dowling Park, and others would stop in Waycross, where I grew up, on their way, and so I knew them from being in their classes, or having them as umpires in our ball games, or whatever at Camp Swanee. But more than that, my brother, Travis Carter, went to Aurora in 1949, and it was just assumed that I would follow, and I was anxious to. Well, I grew up in Waycross, Georgia, a town of 25,000, just about 75 miles northeast of Jacksonville. The farthest north I'd ever been was Atlanta, and Waycross was really 75% white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. So to go to Aurora just opened up a whole new world for me, especially all the different ethnic groups in and around Chicago. The campus was made up of students from New England, the Pacific West Coast, the Midwest, the Appalachian region, and so just the associations with the people that were there from such a cross section of our country, plus some foreign students from other countries, just opened up a lot of interest, and expanded my horizons considerably. Not to say that I didn't learn a lot from certainly the classes that I took, and it was so small. The Aurora was so small then. There was about 75 people in our class, our graduating class. Only about 200 students, daytime students, in the entire college. You just got to know the faculty and the staff and the students very well, and the kind of community we had on campus did an awful lot for a person. I was never lonely from the time I got there, and didn't go home except at Christmas and spring break. I think it prepared me well to go on to graduate school. I didn't take any courses working on my master's degree that did not exceed the quality of classes, especially from Dr. Krause. If you got through his test and did his papers, you were pretty well prepared for anything you had to face. And when I felt the real leading of the Lord to come to Dowling Park, circumstances developed that made me sure that this is where I was supposed to be. And so instead of taking my last 2 years of seminary, I transferred to Florida State University and got a master's degree in social work. And that was very, very helpful, certainly in the development of Dowling Park, which when Jerry and I came in 1960, there were only 60 people here, and 30 of those were children. We had an orphanage, our children's home, so only 30 retirees. And to develop a program to meet today's population is about 800 retirees living here. It prepared me well. But the prize recruit was Jerry Lynn Harris, which became Jerry Lynn Carter in 1958. So she was my greatest blessing from Aurora.